It's been 10 years. The essential question that comes out is, why does it take 10 years? I mean, that's a completely different debate why, justice is delayed in this country. But at the same time, how crucial is this day today in this particular case? There are so many other cases that are familiar to this case. What kind of precedent will it set for those cases? We will talk about this, but let's get the ball rolling. How are you looking at the developments, various reactions coming in? What are you expecting from the court today? And, help the viewers understand the significant details, the salient points of this particular case as well, Advocate Chadha.
Well, there are three, 4 points, and you have in a very detailed manner, narrated everything. I wanted to say, first of all, this case was initially investigated by the local police. Later on, the investigation was handed over upon the demand of all various people, including Rabia Khan. It was handed over to CBI. That is one part. In that process, the initial investigation, because the 6-page suicide letter, as you have mentioned, is very important piece of evidence. We have to keep that always in mind. Now, here, what section has been attracted, which is very important. Rabia Khan is, from the very initial stage, has started saying that it is not suicide, but it is a murder. But the entire investigation has, and even the charge sheet has concluded that it is not a case of murder. It is a case of, as per the prosecution, where I don't know whether they will be able to prove, the judgment will speak on its own, that it is not a case of, first of all, it is not a case of murder, it is a case of suicide. That is one. 6-page letter, that mental torture, that all kind of abuses, as you have also stated in the initial note when you were speaking about it. What is the state of affairs in that? Then in the charge sheet, as we have seen, that only 306 is they have taken into account, and the delay, the main part was when the charge sheet was initially put forth before the sessions court, and later on, after a pendency of few days, or I don't know how much was the period, I'm not sure about it, the sessions court sent it back to the CBI special court. You know what was the reason? Session court quoted that it is not the police which has investigated, as it has been investigated by CBI, it should have been sent to the CBI special court. And I now, want to really say a positive word as far as this special CBI court is concerned. 2021, during the corona period, after the corona period rather, but still the working of the courts were not that smooth at that point of time. This case was transferred to the CBI Special Court. More than 22 witnesses have been examined and cross-examined in this case. So, a lengthy trial happened for about 2 years. So, specific time, if you ask me, the court has got just 2 years to on this particular case. And now we all are looking into it, that what will be the outcome. But that is for sure that the entire if I may use the word gambit, entire thing will revolve around 306 only. There is no question. Even Rabia Khan, in the initial interview, you had just shown that it is a case of murder, which is not the case of the prosecution. So let us not talk about it. It is entirely a case of 306, which is abetment to the murder.
So what kind of punishment are we looking at, Advocate Chadha? Potential and possible punishment? Is there a fine involved? Is there, what's the jail term like when we're looking at 306, which is abetment to suicide? Like you pointed out, it seems like the murder and the, sections, relating to that in the IPC are not going to be talked about, because that's not the prosecution's case at all over here. Even though the mother, Rabia Khan, is quite profusely, expecting something on a different line over here. But in terms of the punishment, in terms of what kind of fine potentially or possibly, Suraj Pancholi could face, we still are awaiting that particular verdict. What's, the expectations and how can you foresee this at the moment?
You have two, in your question, there are two limbs. One is, what is the punishment? As per the law, it goes up to 10 years of the punishment, which is there. And that is the maximum. So if the case is proved beyond doubt, all these witnesses have proved it beyond doubt, then only that punishment will be given. That is one. And as far as the fine is concerned, that is meager, that is not some exorbitant thing, as because our law is continuing the same, IPC is the same. So that is one. As far as the expectations are concerned, I have not seen the witnesses. I have not read the entire the proceedings. So it certainly depends upon how the witnesses have reacted. What is the proof? But one thing I wanted to say, because one of the prime witnesses was Rabia Khan herself, and you could have seen her. From day one, she's really so her testimony is going to be very play an important role, and it is going to be against Suraj Pancholi. And so that is what is the difficulty. Police witnesses have also been, I think there were about 11 police witnesses were there. So those witnesses have also very vehemently, gone against Suraj.
Manvi, a very warm welcome onto the broadcast. Help us understand how the entire, Bollywood industry, the model industry, how they're really looking at this particular verdict. There's a lot of expectations that are riding on the honorable court.
See, I must say justice can be delayed, but it cannot be denied. And today is the final day when we will hear a verdict from the court that what the case is all about. But yes, I was listening to the panel before who was speaking that it totally depends upon the evidence, what is presented on the presented before the court. It totally depends upon the paper evidence, whose paper is very strong enough to prove what went wrong that day. So I totally, I will respect the court's decision, and I think we should still wait and watch for the final verdict.
A big day, it seems like today. A lot of pressure on the Indian judicial system. People have been really looking up to this particular verdict. How are you looking at it? I know, you've even featured a particular chapter on Jiah Khan in your book as well. Could you throw some light on what's your POV here, sir?
I had looked into the case in 2015, meeting up with Jiah Khan's mother and all other people. And of course, Rakesh Maria, who wrote the foreword for my book. Investigations in my country, in India, rarely go to an logical extent. And what happens is every time something happens, then all kinds of people start clamoring. And after 10 years again, the case opens up. If you take a look at the Sheena Bora case, Sushant Singh Rajput's case, Sunanda Pushkar's case, it hop, skip, and jump, it continues. So today, I sincerely hope that the court will take notice of all that has happened in Jiah Khan's life. Don't forget, Jiah Khan's death was first tweeted by Diya Mirza, and then Amitabh Bachchan expressed shock that how could this bright actress die, and that too in a very, very strange manner. It's all up to the police and the way they presented the evidence and the CBI, which has investigated. So I would rather say, I would rather wait and see. I do have hopes because it was not a natural death. She was found hanging. Now, whether someone killed her and hanged her or whether she committed suicide, that is for the investigators to try and find out. And is there a big pressure on Bollywood? No, I don't think so. This is an old case. At the most, it could get some trigger. It could trigger some breaking headlines and some hashtags, as you were telling one of the actresses who is on the show. But yes, we all expect that wherever there is flaw, there should be law. So we are hoping that maybe the Jiah Khan case can come to a logical conclusion. And before I wind up, I think ironically, my book is all about deaths or murders which happened and they never reached their logical conclusions. Jiah Khan was one such chapter. So I would wait and let's see what happens in the court.
But if I were to take the liberty of putting you, on the pedestal, putting you on the spot over there, just for a second, Mr. Ray, any underlying reserved expectations that you have from this particular verdict. We were earlier speaking to the lawyer, and the lawyer said there's nothing that's going to be spoken about, a murder in general. It's going to be 306, which is abetment to suicide. I heard the lawyer speak about 313 also, which is miscarriage and abortion as well. Any underlying expectation?
When I was investigating the case, I was told Jiah Khan was pregnant when she died. Now, someone has to cause a pregnancy. This doesn't happen like Jesus Christ. Number one. Number two, the note. One section of the lawyers are saying this note is fake. Rabia Khan says Jiah Khan wrote that note. Also, conversations in the handset. Suraj Pancholi categorically said he never spoke to her. And when her cell phone was opened up, a lot of messages and cross messages were found.
Right.
So somebody has to go deep into it. Hopefully, they must have gone deep into it because it's about a death. And the courts need to take it very serious.